Solutions Review is on location at Boomi World in Las Vegas. Brought to you by Dell Boomi.
All right, we are here at Boomi World 2018 in Las Vegas, and we are joined by a multiple customer of Dell Boomi.
Yep.
That's Graden Gerig from Glue currently.
That's correct.
But you've been using iPaaS from Dell Boomi for 8 years?
Yeah, almost 8 years now. I have spent a lot of time solving different problems at different companies, and started my journey off at SuccessFactors and driving the Boomi platform and capabilities there. Moved on and worked at several other companies solving different problems. And part of the exciting part of working with Boomi is that you can solve so many different problems, each company has their own problem. I want to talk to you about your journey, because 8 years is a fairly long time for iPaaS. I mean, you were early. Yeah. And we see the space right now is incredibly hot, but 8 years ago, I think a lot of people were not nearly, even Gartner, I don't think even had a Magic Quadrant around it. It was, back then, there was about 60 people in the company. In Boomi, and I was fortunate enough to get to spend a lot of time kind of co-develop parts of their platform, like integration platform, like the integration packs and process library and things like that, which we did jointly together around the SuccessFactors SAP ecosystem. And so it's been neat seeing Boomi grow, and as they've talked about many times, they listen to their partners. And they really want to try and enrich the product and align it with and enable partners to solve the complex problems that they have.
So what have you seen as kind of the major transformation that they've gone through and that everybody needs to kind of go through in that past 5 years?
I think that they have tried to simplify the development, deployment, and configuration of integrations. Their architecture has always been rock solid. I've loved the hybrid model, and that really hasn't changed over time. There hasn't been a big need for change. So it's more about how do you deploy into those models, and how do you do it so that anyone can deploy and configure it. And that's the Connected Now, the new features that you'll see here this week are all about that, and that's the transformation that I've really seen in the product. Of course there's new features that they've added and things like that, but if there's a theme that I see, that's what it is.
Well, and I think that's why it's a hot space right now, right? Because it's become accessible to folks that may not have been able to even wrap their head around the idea of getting all those connectors to work.
Yeah, and I mean, and in the OEM space or partner space, being able to to create those products and deploy them, in mass, really makes it a model that works for a partner environment, a partner ecosystem.
So you have an incredible amount of experience at this, and you've obviously had a lot of conversations with folks about that path and that vision that you've seen. What do you offer as advice to folks who are just coming to a cloud-based integration platform?
Again, I don't think this is anything new, but start small, find a problem, solve it, find another problem that's a little bigger, solve it, learn from the first, the second, the third, and then, it's just take the steps. Don't try and do it all at once, because you'll learn a lot about how to build the product, how to build an integration so that it works better, right? You get more insight into how to extend the product so it's configurable. So you're doing less development, more configuration to handle edge cases and things like that. So start small and iterate and just keep taking on more and more and more, and it's a quick learning curve. I mean, it really is.
Well, so with regard to your new company, Glue, you're kind of in that consideration cycle, but I'm curious about, as you think about that buying cycle, what are a couple key benefits that you would say are the reasons why you move towards something like this?
When you're implementing Boomi in an enterprise environment, it's a single environment generally. Even you can have multiple divisions, but you're solving a single company's problem. And when you get into the OEM space, you're solving a problem for 30,000 of your customers, and everything you do, you're doing at scale. And so, the time that you take up front to make sure you architect those integrations are so important, because a wrong step or a misconfiguration in one spot or a lack of the ability to extend the product in another can lead to heartache. Not that you're going to break anything, but it just takes longer to implement. It's hard for customers to adopt. And so, when we're doing things at Glue, where we've got a potential ecosystem of 330,000 churches in the U.S., and even if over the next several years we roll out to 10%, that's 30,000, 3,300 churches. I think we're going to be. I think we're going to have a rival Atom Cloud, maybe larger than Boomi's.
Well, the advice that you offered with regard to starting small and also that vision for why you move toward this is something we're hearing over and over again as we talk to folks, and I think it's incredibly sound. That notion of solving a problem, figuring out what your problem is that you need to solve, but getting about solving it.
Yeah. It's you just need to think through it. Don't jump and just throw something out, and iterate, because you learn so much every time you do a process. Roll it out, version 2, version 3, just so much more insights into how to develop on the platform.
Well, so what are you hoping to find as you mosey around here? Anything in particular you're looking for?
It's about the networking here. It's like I said, 8 years. I know a lot of the development staff. Back then, Chris was product manager, Chris McNabb. So it's fun getting to see everybody and to tell the stories and just talk about, old times and what's coming in the future.
Well, we appreciate you swinging by and sharing some thoughts with us, and certainly enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.